tons of things we could talk about. One thing I want to focus on is when Moses famously says to God, I want to see you face to face, and God says, no one can see me and live. And ha-Hayyim has something very interesting. So first of all, he says, show me your kavod, show me your glory. And ha-Hayyim says, we already read earlier that it said that Moses saw him face to face. So isn't that supposedly contradictory? And he says, no, it isn't, because that face to face was like seeing this burning fire, like the burning bush. It wasn't really seeing him. Rather, what did Moses ask here? He says, I want to understand you. I want to really understand, cognize, or, with my intelligence to understand you, Hashem. And Hashem says, look, no one can do this and live. You can't, be alive and fully understand, which implies that when you're no longer alive, you'll be able to. But you can't be here and then understand that. And then the latter part of it where he says, I'll let you see my supposed backside. It's not really backside, but the way ha-Hayyim explained this is to mean you're going to see, you're going to see me through a screen. That's the point. And how do we know this? Because right next to the word it says achorai, like, the back of me, it says upanai, and my face you won't see. The fact that behind and face are situated one next to the other, with literally a letter Vav differentiating them, is for ha-Hayyim alluding to that we're not really talking about, a backside and a front, because God doesn't have that, but it's a way of saying you're going to see some aspect of me. And one of the most fascinating things is at the end of this bit, ha-Hayyim says, and how does he say this? He says, and the wise one will bow down to the great Lord, understand that what we do, our actions, are tiny and nothing. And then he says, you can only hope for a vital soul. Like this idea that maybe ha-Hayyim is praying to be able to get to the peak of humanity and to see something of God. So I thought that was fascinating. Shavua Tov.